Okay. Um, yeah, so I went over your homework and it's looking good. So I just made a couple notes on some things I saw.
Mhm.
I said your overall weekly analysis was good. Um, good job on like waiting for confirmation when it came to like the daily direction.
Mhm.
And then I saw that you noted at the bottom that uh, you noted somewhere in here, I believe, that you said that you have like a tendency to lose the first trade. And
Mhm.
I just wanted to point out that like over time, as you develop your skill, you know, that will likely improve. But for now, it's like if you're gonna take a loss, which is going to be a controlled amount that you're losing, and then the next trade that you take is a win. You know, if
Mhm.
you're entering, like don't sweat that loss because as long as you're
Mhm.
entering when you're getting your entry signals, you know what
Yeah.
I mean, then it's totally fine, especially if you're gonna win the next one. Um, you're still gonna be in profit. And then like I would say the only time to be bothered about a loss is if you were to like violate your rules. Um,
Mhm.
so everything on here looked good. Let's see. I think it
Are
was
you sharing your screen? Like I saw it for a minute, but then I don't see it. Like I don't know what.
I am sharing my screen. You see it now?
No, let me log out and log in again. One sec. Okay, perfect. This is the yeah, I see it now.
Okay, cool. So I just was looking at this one.
Mhm. Mhm.
Let's see. Everything else looked good. Two, three looked good. Um, and let's see, let me look at this one. I said, okay, so for this one, I believe it was this trade. So I wanted to ask you to clarify because I see that you have a change of character marked here.
Mhm.
Um, and it's on the 1 minute. So I just wanted you to clarify for me what you mean by change of character on this, because unless I'm interpreting this wrong, I don't see a change of
Mhm.
character.
Yeah. So I I went back to I don't know which session was it that you were correcting me on that same thing. And I realized that I was marking, like I went back to I went back to marking the chalk wrong, but then I fixed myself. So now I try to move it to the bottom to the first week that it violates on the like the first week that I how can I explain it? Um, so the change of character happens if it's changing direction and it violates the last swing or the last wick um on the how is that the lower low on that trend. So it
Okay.
should have been like at the bottom, not
Right
there.
here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have a candle coming up to break that high.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you have the displacement that it came and left behind in a couple of
Right.
areas. And then it did come back and tap in. And yeah, so okay. Cool. But other than that, everything looked good on this one. Let's see. I put. You didn't put any trades on this one. Oh wait, no, you didn't. Okay, so I wanted you to notice on this weekly, I mean, unless I missed it, I don't think I did, but I mean, your analysis looks pretty good, but I don't know if you noticed this, but I wanted to point out to you that
Hmm.
there was a order block right here on the weekly time frame.
Oh, uh-huh.
Um, and so um just when you see one of these are kind of like really like bread and butter candles, pretty much, because you can just
Hmm.
throw the fib on them and it's super
Hmm.
easy. So like if this was that next weekly candle and it rejected here, then
Hmm.
um when you have an order block like this, you can just say like, oh, okay, well, it's looking like it's going to come back down to either tap into here or it'll continue to
Right.
sell further. Um,
Hmm.
which your analysis was basically that, but I just wanted to point out that order block to
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
Um, just because order blocks are just like super easy to trade.
Yeah.
Um, and it can like really like streamline your analysis if you see one. So I
Hmm.
just wanted to point that out to you. But I mean, your analysis is pretty much what it would have been. Um,
Hmm.
anyway, so it looked good. Let's see. Yeah, so that was pretty much it on this one. Um, I think I don't know what day this was. It looks like this would have been Wednesday, maybe Wednesday. So, yeah, so on this one, we got if this is the swing low of that order block, I'm not sure that it
Hmm.
is because this is the Wednesday.
Hmm.
Um, it looks like it is because it has this wick.
Hmm.
I don't know, I'm not too sure. But it
Okay.
looks like it did come down and it tapped in and then it started buying. Um, and so like this change of character that you had marked, um, you could have used this one, this high right here,
Okay.
or you could use one of these down here.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'm not sure on a higher time frame if it was like a 5 minute. This was the one that looked that you could see on the 5 minute maybe, and that's why you use this one, which is totally fine.
Hmm.
Um, that's totally fine to use the 5 minute change of character. But I'm just saying, like, if you were to take this change of character, sometimes I'll set a limit, like a limit order in the displacement down here, and then I
Hmm.
can just leave it. And you can see the next day price sold into
Hmm.
um, some deeper level of retracement here. And so if you had a limit, I know that this is a wick that comes down really quick, but it would have just tapped you in for a buy,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yes.
So an example of that would be this week. I was so upset on Friday because I deleted my limit order.
Oh, by
But
accident?
no, not by accident. I deleted it on purpose.
Okay.
So Thursday morning, I was trading um here, right? And you like we see this consolidation right here, and then price sells, right? And it grabs all of this liquidity. So we had a sell
Hmm.
side. And then on the 15 minute, um, we had price break this high right here. And then we had
Hmm.
a another one up here that I think came up in like the 30 minute that it broke. So this level right here, because right, because it's a high and then it's a low.
Hmm.
Um, for me, these were either like the highs that was going to make the change of character. And on
Hmm.
the 1 minute time frame, it had left a gap all the way down here
Hmm.
that I had marked this box. Um, And I think you can see it better on the 5 minute. Let's see if I can actually. Yeah, here it is. Better. So like we broke this high right after we slept, and then there was an imbalance here that was left. Yes, there was other imbalances that was left, displacements that were left on the 1 minute time frame. But I thought that this one on the 5 minute was suspect. So there was opportunities to enter for this buy on the 1 minute time frame, absolutely, that you could have caught in this day. But I actually had a limit set here for it to come back, and it didn't come back in that same day. So I ended up deleting it. But you can see the next morning it came back and it tapped in, right? And then it bought up. So you can do that sometimes. And that can work out pretty well. Or you could have just like I don't always feel comfortable leaving a limit order overnight, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's why I deleted it. And the next morning you can see like we had a consolidation right here through the London session, right? So our London low actually tapped into that displacement, and it did buy up a little bit. This is 5:30 in the morning news for me. So we kind of had like a little breakout to the upside, and then it swept the sell side. So we did have that consolidation around this displacement, and it gave us a sweep, and then it gave us what could have been traded the same way. After you get your sweep, you see a break market structure shift, right? And then price comes back down and it taps in and then buys. So that would have been like, you can't really see any displacement here. There was displacement right here that occurred on this high, and price came back in and tapped, and it made a new high here. But if you wanted to, like if you were confident that that was going to play out, you just have to kind of imagine sometimes that just because you can't see a displacement on the 5 minute or the 1 minute doesn't mean there's not one on like the 5 second chart here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can't use those time frames because I don't have that package.
Right.
But I know that there's going to be a gap on some time frame. Because that's just how price action works. Yeah, even on the 1 minute, it was really hard. But you can just treat that like, let me just go back to the 5 minute. You would just want to treat that like this high that got broken. You could just do something like this. You could just fib that expansion that broke. Remember how we were doing that? And then you could just use the Fibonacci to enter. I'll usually use the 50% for that type of thing, and then you can just take it, to the next point of liquidity, which would have been this high right here. So yeah, so price can sometimes go back to those imbalances that were left like in a previous day, and it does it really quick, but you can catch good moves doing that. So I just want to point that out because those are definitely good opportunities. Like I feel like every time I delete my limit and I'm like, okay, no, this isn't gonna play out, it
It
does.
goes back to it.
But yeah, okay, so I think that's all. It's really, yeah, that's all for that one. Everything looked good there. Okay, so trade number one into okay, so I think on this one I was just gonna tell you because we already talked about the chalk.
Mhm.
But on this one, I was just gonna mention to you that like when you're getting sometimes price action that's like really choppy like this, where it's like making all these tiny, tiny little like highs and lows, and it's like almost flat. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes you can go up to like the 2 minute time frame
Mhm.
just to get like a more clean structure.
Mm.
So, for example, um, we'll just head back to the 1 minute on. I guess we can just look here. So like look at this structure right here. Like, yeah, you can still see highs and lows and it's choppy and
Yeah.
whatnot. So sometimes when you're kind of iffy about the structure, just like go up to the next time frame and just see if that gives
Mhm.
you a um cleaner candlestick structure.
Mhm.
Because I felt like right here it maybe looked like you couldn't really I don't know, maybe it just looked like to me that this is slightly a new low. Um, but you have like this rejection wick here. And it's kind of just like this is like weird price action, right? Like it's not just
Mhm.
trending like this.
Mhm.
It's like doing something weird. So it makes you kind of feel like, okay, well, is it doing some sort of manipulation? So a tip on that would just be to like go up to the 2 minute time frame or
Okay.
go up to the 3 minute. Because sometimes if you kind of just sift between like I'll go back and forth between like the 1 and 5 minute on when I'm looking for an entry. So like I'll even look at the 3 minute sometimes. You know what I mean? Um,
Mhm.
Whatever time frame can give me like a clear picture on what's going on. Like see on the 3 minute time frame right here. Um, it just it shows me this
Mhm.
very clean order block right here that I did not see that until just now. I wasn't seeing that on the 1 minute, right? So now
Mhm.
it's like that would have been a perfect place to put your limit order.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so sometimes even just going like down or up one time frame is really
Okay.
helpful. When you're kind of trying to decipher like what price action is doing, or if it is acting weird, then like if I don't like the 1 minute structure, like the 2 minute structure, then I'll hop up to the 5 minute and I'll get like a stronger higher time frame structure and I'll just say, okay, well, since the lower time frame isn't making me feel very comfortable, then I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna wait till it breaks the 5 minute high or the 5 minute low. Um,
Right.
and you kind of just like up your standard of entry just
Mhm.
because you're getting like this weird price action right here. If that makes sense, just like a little tip, but you did everything looks good. Okay, number 6. Let's see here. Read 6. Um, I think I had on this one, and I'm not sure what the price action was for this whole entire day, so it's kind of
Mhm.
hard for me, but I was looking at this one and I just felt like maybe the reason why you got this wrong was because your daily bias was just incorrect, which
Mm.
happens, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because if you're to look at this trend line liquidity right here,
Mhm.
and you can see that price actually sold into that trend line liquidity, right?
Mhm.
So if you were to if you were looking at this day as a bullish day instead of a bearish day, then you would have looked at this and you would have said, okay, well, we just swept all this liquidity in here. And then we
Mhm.
came up and we broke structure to the upside. Now you would have had a limit set for a buy,
Mhm.
either in this displacement or this displacement, and price came back
Okay.
in, tapped you in, and then it bought up.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it looks like you executed it correctly. It just looked like your daily bias was incorrect.
Mhm.
Which absolutely happens. You know, we're not always 100% accurate. Um,
Mhm.
so I just want to point that one out.
Okay.
And then 26. Everything else looks good here though. And I think this was the last one I just wanted to give you a tip on. Um, Everything looked good here. Um, I just wanted to show you on this um time frame. I wanted to say like when you have like a really, really, really large area of liquidity like this on a macro time frame, it can be really helpful to divide up this giant liquidity pool. So what you could have done is you could have put a line here to mark relative equal lows.
Mm-hmm.
You could have put a trend line just from here to here to mark trend line liquidity. And then you could have
Mm-hmm.
had your gaps marked here, right on the bottom.
Uh-huh.
So,
Uh-huh.
so then your one giant area that price is already in and may go deeper into, or it may reverse to the upside. Your one area is now broken into multiple different levels. So I
Mm-hmm.
like to call those objectives, right? So price came
I
into
see.
your first objective, which was the equal lows. Okay. So what's it
Uh-huh.
going to do? It's either going to retrace and then it's going to break structure to the downside again. So then you can say, okay, we're heading towards the second objective. So then you'll be able to
Mm-hmm.
trade selves into the next liquidity pool, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
once you get there, you fulfill this objective. And now you can kind of reset and pull back and you can say the same thing. Okay, are we going to retrace? And are we going to come into these imbalances here? Or are we going to break to the upside and continue to trend higher? Right. Um, so when you have a larger macro liquidity pool, it does help to break it up into multiple objectives through it because price could just come into this level, right? This first objective, and it could
Mm-hmm.
satisfy that and it could be fine. But if you're anticipating it to go all the way into the deepest part of this giant macro, right? Um, you might miss some signals that would tell you otherwise because
Mm-hmm.
it becomes more of a bias at that point, more of like an expectation rather
Uh-huh.
than just objectively looking at price and seeing where it's being magnetized to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it does help, yeah, just like splitting up. But this day looked good. That was just like the only thing that I wanted to point out there because that can be a helpful tool to have. But yeah, no, that's pretty much everything I had on your homework. Do you have any questions?
No, no, I'm every day, the more I practice, I feel more comfortable.
Okay, cool. Good. Um, okay, so I thought today we could just do some back testing
Mm-hmm.
together. Um, what do you want to back test on? You want to back test on the same pairs?
Whichever. Yeah. Were you able to record yourself or not yet?
Yes. So did I
Mhm.
record myself yesterday? I don't think I did yesterday. Yesterday was so frustrating. I like took this I took this trade and it was going amazing. And I had moved my stop loss up into break even. And it literally was about to hit my take profit. And then it like reversed on me. And and
Ah.
then it stopped me out. I mean, my stop loss was at break even, so I didn't lose any money, but
Mm-hmm.
it was just so, I'll show you. It was just so frustrating because it was like right there. Um, I took a buy like right here. I actually got it out to right here. Yeah, and it like came up to here
Ah,
and
almost
then it
there.
just like turned around. Love when that happens. Um, okay, so Euro USD. I'm just gonna pick like a really like random week.
Mhm.
Just do analysis on it real quick. Because I don't think I've back tested with you too much.
Mhm.
Um, so, okay, so starting at our weekly analysis, price is in an overall macro downtrend. We
Mhm.
haven't made a new low yet. Let's see, I see all this liquidity that has been grabbed right here. So we're definitely at an area of resistance. I'm not going to mark this, but obviously we're at an area of resistance. So um, price can either continue going to retrace this further, or we could probably just continue down to make that new low.
Mhm.
Um, obviously we failed to make a new high right here in this trend, and we
Mhm.
turned around. So I see we tapped into this order block. So I'm seeing options for it to continue to go lower. Um, or we could see a break of structure here, breaking this high, and then we could trend higher.
Okay.
So I kind of see, so that's my direction.
Mhm.
So for me, this would be like, hopefully price would by Tuesday, Wednesday be in this area to go down,
Mhm.
or this would be kind of like our Tuesday, Wednesday right here, because if we were to break out of this, then this old high would then become our support to keep going to the upside. So this would kind of act as our pivot point. It could come further down. Um, and then of course there's always the option of price just trending lower like that. Um, so a couple things I want to mark just so we know where they're at is this daily high, because we're currently in that daily downtrend. Price seems to be respecting it so far. So here's our Friday. And we'll go to the 4 hour. So I don't usually trade on Sunday and Mondays.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna play this price action uh, to see what we get.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Since I know I'm not gonna trade on Monday, I'll just skip it to Tuesday.
Yeah. Yep. That's how I trade in real life. So um okay, so let's mark our Sunday opening price. 2 p.m. Um, that looks good. Let's see, this is Monday, 2 a.m. Ah, no, we're on Tuesday. I always do that. I always go too far. Okay. So 2 a.m. Here's our New York session. And then we end. I'm gonna drop down to the hourly. Okay, so we respected this uptrend right here up until Tuesday night, Tuesday London. Oh man, I went into Tuesday New York. Well, see if we can't catch a continuation trade. How about that? So this would obviously we broke this low right here.
Mhm.
Um, so it does look like we're starting to go to the downside.
Mhm.
Um, we had our consolidation from the Asian session kind of go upward and then we reverse down to the downside. So I'm going to go ahead and, I mean, that's kind of given away at this point, but mark that. So it looks like that's going to be our high of the Tuesday candle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so if we're getting our high being, if our high is being created in the Asian session, then London is either going to look like an expansion away from that high, so to the downside, and then New York would be a continuation of that,
Mm-hmm.
or we could get a consolidation through London, and then New York's going to grab that consolidation to then go to the downside.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the two options I would likely give myself. So if we hop to the 15, oh, I can't go to the 15. That's so lame. I can't go to the 15? No way.
It's not that far. Like, what day do you have it?
Um,
Or you're in July?
2021. Interesting. Okay, we'll work with it. Um, okay, so let's see, 9 p.m. So here's our London Open.
Mm-hmm.
So we had, if I was to wake up in the morning and I would see this London high right here, it grabbed, it grabbed something up here, right? See that
Mm-hmm.
wick? It
Yeah.
grabbed these relative equal highs that was created um,
Uh-huh.
just before the opening of the London session. And then it expanded away.
Mm-hmm.
So on a 1 minute time frame, this would have been really clear right here, these equal highs, that we
Mm-hmm.
could see some structure. So during
Yeah.
London, we grabbed and then we moved away. We trended to the downside. Here's 2 a.m., here's 3 a.m., here's 4 a.m. Okay. So on a lower time frame, this structure right here is looking something like this,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then so we had our 5 a.m. candle right here, which is the opening of the New York session. So we had price come up and sweep, and then it sold,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So there would have definitely been, so that was the first kill zone, right? If the 5 a.m. candle
Right.
was the first kill zone of, and this is 5 a.m. New York or California time.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So our first kill zone, we had a buy side sweep. Okay. Um, so if our daily bias is bearish, which at this point, because we failed to make a new high, it looks like we got our high of the day during the Asian session, and it's just been moving away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, based on our weekly analysis, um, if we were to have a daily bias that was bearish, then on the 1 minute or something, this would have been a good opportunity to trade because we're getting that buy side sweep before it sells off,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
So something else to look for here is I wonder if this was a news candle. So if we just go back out to the overall perspective and remember that we have this daily trend right here. Not only did this low get broken, it looks like it's respecting this high.
Mm-hmm.
So we can assume that price is wanting to go down to make a new low in this trend. Okay.
Okay.
So price did sell into this order block here. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, I'm gonna still be looking for sells, even if I miss the first one in the day,
Uh-huh.
because on the smaller time frames, I can go on the smaller time frames, this candle is probably gonna be having some price action in here that looks like this. So it's the same thing. So if price was to retrace this drop, it's grabbing all this liquidity in here. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's going to give us our right change of character and then tap into the displacement where we would want to try to catch the second part of the sell.
Uh-huh.
Um, So that's what you would be looking for in the next kill zones if price wants to continue to sell. Um, I would say that this candle sold pretty significantly already. So there is a possible chance that maybe it's done selling for the day. Um, and we might just get some sort of consolidation. And then maybe the next day it wants to give us um,
That retracement.
that retracement, right? Maybe in the form of a liquidity sweep, just like the one I showed you
Mhm.
um, on NASDAQ, how the next day it came back down and tapped into that 5 minute gap.
Yeah.
It could be something like that. So let's just see. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Okay. So that's what that would look like. So this candle, there's going to be like 1 minute trend lines there, right? And then we get a retracement back from this break of structure, which looks like a sweep of all this 1 minute liquidity. And then we get a break to the downside, and then we would want to trade that displacement.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that will usually occur in like the second kill zone. If
Mm-hmm.
if if the expansion of the New York session hasn't happened in the first kill zone, then it will probably happen in the second kill zone. But if it already happens, it's already making its move for that session, then the retracement will happen in the second kill zone.
Remind me, the first one is 5 a.m. and the second one is what for you?
So the first one is about 5 a.m. to like 6 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one is going to be 7 a.m. to, it says 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., but I kind of make it 7 a.m. to like 9 or 10.
Okay.
I kind of expand it a little bit because I feel like it can still happen within that bigger time window. But if you have less time on your hands and you just want to look at price between 7 and 8, then that's totally fine too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um,
And market price, I mean, New York market opens at 8, but the kill zone is mm, no, the kill zone is 8, right?
um,
For them. Eastern time, right?
Eastern time, the first
Because
one,
if you're
Eastern,
5, they're 8, right?
yeah. So the
Uh-huh.
first one for them would be 8 a.m. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's the
And the
first kill
second
zone.
one would be 10 a.m.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Mhm.
Okay. So yeah. So hopefully in here somewhere, um, dropping down on the 1 minute time frame, there would have been a better, like, I don't know, that break of structure may have occurred up here in these wicks, and you could have
Mhm.
gotten a better risk to reward. Um, but I kind of just marked it like this.
Mhm.
The entry was on this wick because you can see when you get a engulfing order block like this, right?
Mhm.
Remember
Mhm.
how I told you on a lower time frame, there's going to be a change of character.
Mhm.
So that's why we like these engulfing order blocks, is because when I see that, I know on a lower time frame there's a change of character happening there.
Mhm.
Because that's just when it manifests on a higher time frame. Um, but hopefully there would have been like a better one on like a really, really low time frame that you could have gotten a entry with a better RR. But if not, um, this is almost a 1 to 2. So yeah, and it looks like it hit pay profit in a couple of hours. Okay. So there's our Tuesday trade. So that one, we can consider that one a win.
Mhm.
Uh, let's just finish Tuesday price action. So this is 10 a.m. on Tuesday. We are just melting. Well, okay, so that marks the end of the London session. See how it starts to stall out? Or not London, sorry,
Mhm.
New York. It just starts to stall out immediately.
Mhm.
So that's the close 3 p.m. That's the close of the daily candle. So let's print our next candle. So 4 p.m. on Tuesday, that would mark the 3 p.m. actually would mark the beginning of the next daily candle. So if we just go to the day time frame real quick. So right here, so this was our Tuesday candle.
Mhm.
And it did respect this high.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna delete this stuff just so I can have a clear chart for the next day. Another one, the swing high. Okay. So now we're going into Wednesday
Mhm.
and we have price below our Sunday open.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's either going to be meaning two things. So either we had an early weekly pivot, because I always say in my analysis, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's our pivot time frame where I'm looking at a
Mhm.
pivot, right? So either we had an early pivot for the week. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So either we had an early pivot for the week, because this is going to be, I know it says Monday right here, but this is our Tuesday candle.
Mhm.
So either we had our early pivot for the week and it just pivoted on Tuesday, and now we are in our expansion for the week to the downside.
Mhm.
Um, or I could see a possibility of Wednesday being our pivot and we are now below Sunday open, and then we could come back up for the rest of the week, maybe even break this high.
Mhm.
But there's still a lot of room for it to retrace to give healthy price action up here, and it still would respect this trend. Um,
Mhm.
so notice how either way, like even if Tuesday was our pivot, we still like got above Sunday opening price right there.
Mhm.
So that's why I always like to have it marked, because it's just like such a good like anchor to know
Mhm.
what price is doing. Okay, so we have our Tuesday, 4 p.m. Okay, so for right now, we're gonna assume that no matter what, we want to see obviously price retrace this break of structure that we just, or this continuation, right? Because we just made a new
Mhm.
low. So for the next day, we could see, you know, maybe a little push down again and then like a retrace before continuing down.
Mhm.
Um, or we're gonna see something that's like I said, just we're gonna start moving to the upside. So like this would be like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday type of thing. Um, so 4 p.m. on Tuesday, we are in our new Wednesday candle. Okay, so here's London Open right here for Wednesday
Mhm.
night. So the Tokyo session, we just had a I don't know if you can see it right here, but we had price slightly sweep the day's low, the previous day's low,
Mhm.
with a wick, and then we kind of had an upward consolidation. Um, and then on London Open, it's right here. We're giving some wiki candles, so maybe there's some news coming out. And, okay. So again, here's our low of the day. Low of the day so far. I don't know if it's gonna fall and make a new low during New
Mhm.
York. Um, but here's our low of the day. And then I'm just gonna mark this upward consolidation that we were given during Tokyo. So we made a low and we were consolidating, kind of expanding um away from the daily low. So then during London Open, we had obviously a grab on this liquidity. And instead of continuing down and making this the daily high, it was just a sweep and it continued to the upside for the rest of
Mhm.
London. So if I was to wake up in the morning and see this price action, I would think to myself, okay, well, I could either have because we're obviously heading in a bullish direction. So my options are going to be that New York is going to be a continuation of London's price action, which has been bullish,
Mhm.
or we're going to get a reversal and continue this downtrend. Um, so if we were talking about a reversal, then my next thing would be, okay, so where are we at structure wise on this side? So I see this high, right, that hasn't been broken. So during New York, I could see potential for a price to maybe get in here somewhere and then break to the downside, right? So we'd have our change of character, retracement, and then down again.
Mhm.
Um, and you'd be looking for a sell trade in that scenario. Um, if we are going to be bullish for the day, and which would be a continuation of London's price action, obviously, if we were able to look on a lower time frame, we would want to try to look into these candles here and find some sort of liquidity that would then be like a sell side grab to
Mhm.
then continue to go bullish for the day. And if we are going to be bullish, then I'm only going to look at buying up until at least this high because there's no guarantee that it's going to break this high. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
that would be your closest objective, kind of like your range. So just looking a little bit closer to this price action of London session. So we did have a sell side sweep, right? And I know on a lower time frame, there was going to be some sort of change of character and then a displacement that may or may not have been tapped into. I can't see because we can't go down. Um, but let's just imagine for a second that we got our right. So price came down and swept, and then it broke structure to the upside. And then this candle is really bullish. So it really doesn't look
Mhm.
like we had any retracement here at all.
Okay.
Um, so let's just like imagine that it didn't tap into anything yet. Um, right? So if there's still displacement down here that hasn't been filled during New York, I could see price, I don't know, maybe giving us a wick and tapping us in, right? And then continuing up if we are going to be bullish. So that's something that I would look for. I would look to see if I can find anything that has yet to be filled in this because we did get this sweep, right? So there should be a liquidity schematic playing out.
Mhm.
That is what we look for, right? So we want to be looking for that. And if we were to go and look at it and see that it had been filled already on a lower 1 minute time frame, then we could say, okay, let's move on. The next thing I see is let's just pretend for a second that this is going to be our market structure shift. This high, because right, we had our
Mhm.
high and then it came down and then it broke to the upside. So I know this is on the hourly and this is a pretty high time frame. and there's likely going to be one on the lower, but let's just pretend for a second that there either isn't one on the lower or it's already been filled. And we can say, okay, so if this is our market structure shift after this sell side sweep, then that would make this our displacement. And that would also make, yeah, no, it would make just this one the displacement, because between this wick right here and this wick, there's no gaps. There's only gaps between this one. So that could be our second area that we want to be looking at, right? For price to continue higher. If we are to get a continuation. So just like a couple of areas to be watching for. So let's just play it out a little bit. Oh my goodness. I really hate that I can't see what this looks like on the chart. So I'm assuming we may have news. And that's why we got a crazy 5 a.m. candle like that. Let's see, what date is this? Wednesday, 14th, 2021. Let's see if we got news. What was it, 20th? It was a 14th. Forget so quickly. So 5:30 a.m. Yeah, we had PPI red folder. So that's probably the reason why we got that crazy spike like that. And we're getting the Powell's testifying at 9 a.m. too. So if I was actually trading this and I was looking to take trades, I would be looking to take trades after this news came out and before this news came out, or after this news came out. Okay, so that makes more sense now. So it is now 5 a.m. and 6. And I'm not really seeing anything here that I want to trade. I see equal highs right here. Okay, and that high got broken. It's now 9 a.m. So Powell's testifying. Usually takes him like, I don't know, sometimes they're on there for an hour. So like even here, because we're still expanding, right? So sometimes you can just say, okay, like we did on Tuesday, I'll just get in on the retracement, right? So it would have been like the same thing as we did on Tuesday, but just to the upside. So on a smaller time frame, we would have had trending up like that. And then we would want to look for the retracement before we expand higher. So we would want to see the retracement come into like this area, this gap, but price didn't even retrace to there either. So this tells me that it's kind of giving some weird sideways consolidation on the lower time frame that likely would have not been tradable. So I'm not seeing anything I want to trade as of right now. It's already 9 a.m. And there's our 12. So there's the end of the New York session. So I didn't really see anything on this day that looked interesting to trade to me. The places that I did have an idea of where I would like to see price come to, it didn't. So wouldn't have likely taken a trade on this day. particularly, unless, oh yeah, no, because it never came back into here on London. So there was a great opportunity down here on London, but I don't trade London. So,
Uh-huh.
um, okay, so let's go to the end of the day, 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. So it just stalled out for the rest of the day. Okay, so let's delete, delete. Okay, so our Wednesday price action is we definitely retraced up into this last bearish price leg. We did end up breaking this high. If we just throw a fib on this last expansion to the downside real quick, we have made it to the 61.8.
Mm-hmm.
So price may, for the next day, we could maybe like come up further into a deeper retracement and
Mm-hmm.
then start coming down again to continue this overall bearish trend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or we could just retrace this breakup structure right here, right? And then maybe we just keep going higher for the week
Mm-hmm.
like that. Maybe not breaking this high, maybe just ending in here somewhere. So that being said, I'm gonna go and check the other need actually. Okay, so he's testifying again this next day at 6:30 in the morning. So this will be a time to avoid. And then we have orange folders early in the morning. So we're just gonna not trade early in the morning here. We're gonna wait till the second kill zone of the day.
Okay.
Um, at least until this testification is done. So basically he just like sits up there in front of like all the news television stations and they just
Mm-hmm.
ask him questions. Um, or you know what? This is actually the one where the government's actually asking him questions now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever he says can be very volatile, very volatile. Because apparently these are live questions and the government could ask him anything. So there could be unexpected answers. So other times they'll release statements and they're like pre-planned statements and those can move the market, but it's usually when he testifies that they're very volatile. So it's always best to just like not trade while he's speaking. Um, okay. So let's just take a look at our daily candle. I don't think we ended up here at this wick right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we closed any gap that was in here. Thursday. I can see this candle already. Oopsie. Okay. So now we're going to see what our Tokyo session gives us. 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Okay, so here's the opening of our London. So we had a push down in Tokyo, and then we kind of went back to where we came from, all the way
Mm-hmm.
up, taking out the previous day's high. Okay. So notice how it's just repeating itself, right? So
Uh-huh.
the beginning of yesterday, it took out the previous day's low. So that will be interesting to watch because this could mean that that's our high of the day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so let's see what London gives us. Another wick to the upside. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Okay. So as of right now, we just had a expand. I wouldn't really call this a consolidation. during Tokyo because it kind of trended down and it also grabbed these equal lows that were in here,
Mhm.
right? And then it pushed to the upside. So we didn't get an exact consolidation. Um, and it looks like, excuse me,
Bless you.
thank you. It looks like London's giving us our high of the day because if
Okay.
we broke structure to the downside, um, so basically we had a reversal happen in London. So that can mean
Mhm.
two things. That can mean that, and this is all repetition. So if we're getting a reversal in London, it could mean that New York session is going to be a continuation of the direction of London. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Um, or it could just mean that we're getting a consolidation kind of, and New York might not go anywhere. And the reason I say that is
Mhm.
because that happened and we have a liquidity grab right here and then it goes up to the upside again. This makes me think that this could possibly be a Judas swing. I don't know if we've talked
Okay.
about a Judas swing before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So this is just telling me that we could just be getting manipulation in here, or
Mhm.
it could still be an expansion. So if I was looking to trade this, I would say, okay, well, I got a sell side and then a buy side sweep, and then price broke structure down.
Uh-huh.
So then this would be my market structure shift. Um, Market structure shift here. Okay, on the bottom. So then that would mean that this whole area in here is my displacement, right? So just by me looking at this price action, I want to say that we're going to get a continuation um, in New York session. Or if it doesn't happen in New York session, it looks like we're going to get a continuation down eventually
Mhm.
because we made a new low, right? We retraced, respected this high. Now we're breaking to the downside. Okay. So I want to see something like this happen, right?
Right.
For the remainder of the week. So we're on Thursday right now? Okay. So this is now my point of interest for this New York session. So I'm just going to delete that to clarify this up. Okay. So let's see. And then remember, we do have news at 5:30 and Powell's
Mhm.
speaking at 6. So this is golden for us because we're just going to watch until later in the morning. So there's our 5 a.m. candle. There's our 6 a.m., 7 a.m. So, wow, these candles actually look really normal. Okay, so I guess the news wasn't crazy this morning, or it has yet to get crazy.
Mhm.
Um, so notice here how we did come back and tap into this. So we are now in our point of interest, right? Because we're in this displacement now.
Right.
Okay. So let's just keep watching. So at this point, on a lower time frame, I'm looking for something like obviously prices like, oh, that was really bad. Okay, so we came down, right? And prices retracing into our point of interest.
Mhm.
So I'm looking for, let me redraw this again. Okay, so sorry. So this on a lower time frame is gonna look like this, right? Okay. And so we're back up. We're retracing into that displacement. We're grabbing all of this liquidity right here.
Yeah.
So then I'm gonna be looking for something like this.
Mhm.
Okay. That I can then look to sell right here.
Mhm.
So unfortunately, I can't look for that on a lower time frame. So this candle is an indecision candle. Okay, it did give us a new low. So I'm not sure if I can't see from here. This candle isn't clear to me from the hourly whether or not we did get a opportunity of entry. But
Mm-hmm.
let's just say that we did, price would have hit our take profit. If we didn't get the entry signal we're looking for, you know, it is what it is, and you just have to let it go, even though it would have hit your take profit, and it's fine. Um, so that would have been the move we were looking for right here. Okay, so if we did get an opportunity to enter on a lower time frame, then that would have been our second win for the week right there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, this is 9 a.m. 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Okay, and there is the end of Thursday candle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so same thing. So yeah, so just for more clarification, if we did get an opportunity to enter here, the trade would look something like this, hopefully. Probably maybe not as good of an RR.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we got like a 1 to 2. But you know, I like to have wishful thinking. But that's what the trade would have looked like if we did get an opportunity to enter on the lower time frame. Okay. Okay, so 12 p.m. here, that marks the end of our session on Thursday. And then we're gonna zoom back out and we're gonna look to see where we're at. So let's just go to the 4 hour for fun. Why not? Okay, I see an order block here, a bearish order block. So yeah, so just another example of what I just said to you. So this
Mm-hmm.
engulfing order block right here,
Yeah.
it's literally a change of character on a higher
Mm-hmm.
time frame right here that we saw.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I like those order blocks in specifically. Okay, so yeah, so all right, so we did our retracement on Wednesday. We broke to the downside on Thursday. So let's just, I don't want to go to the weekly right now because it's going to give away what our weekly candle is, and I don't want it to tell me what it's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, so as of right now, our weekly candle is looking something like this. Because here's our Sunday open right here. I don't know why I deleted that line, but our Sunday open was right here. Okay. Um, then we traveled to the downside and basically we gave back all of that loss, we gave it back to the market. Um, so our weekly candle is probably looking something like this right now, like a small wick
Mm-hmm.
and a larger wick on the bottom. Okay, so I'm satisfied with the wick on top. Okay, it looks like to me we've satisfied our power of 3. Okay, and I like that. Looks healthy on the top. Um, and so now the question is it going to go back down and go like this for the week,
Mm-hmm.
or are we just going to maybe end like this, or we could come back up and end like this, right? And have like a rejection right there. Um, so kind of just some things to think about from like the higher time frame.
Uh-huh.
So what that would look like here is we could see price respect this maybe and move back down, either creating a higher low or a lower low in this
Mm-hmm.
overall daily trend, which it does seem that we're respecting this daily trend. Um, so that could look like something like this down to respect this little high right here, or we could come into a deeper retracement of that displacement from the previous day
Right.
and then continue down. Um, anything else? Right. And then of course we could always see maybe like a break to the upside. And then we get a move up for Friday. Okay, so we're just gonna have to wait and see what our Tokyo and our London price action is gonna give us for the week. And so typically Friday will be like a day of retracement, but
Mhm.
as you can see, we sold and we have retraced already.
Right.
So I think that we could get another day of expansion, unless it wants to go up and then give us that smaller candle body with the longer wick.
Mhm.
Um, and then let's check our news on Friday. So Friday we have news at 5:30 in the morning and 7. Um, so we'll steer clear of the markets during that time. So we want to look to trade at this point after 7 o'clock,
Okay.
7 a.m.
Does the Forex Factory is set up to your time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Six.
Should I do the same when I'm back testing? Like when should I change the time, not Eastern, but my time, just so I don't get confused?
Um, change change your time.
Change trading view for my time.
Um, oh, you mean change it from Eastern time to your time?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Whatever makes you comfortable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's like the best way to have your time. Some people say always keep it on Eastern time, but I'm not on Eastern time, so I put it on California time.
Yeah.
But whatever helps you, do whatever helps you, honestly.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Um, okay, so 4 p.m., 6 p.m., 8 p.m. is 10, is our 11. Okay, so we respected this high through
Mm-hmm.
Tokyo. Okay. Um, we had like a little sweep of this end of day consolidation here. I don't think that'll be too significant. It's possible that this could be your high of the day, so we're gonna keep an eye on that. And then we respected this high, and it looks like we broke a low here to the downside during Tokyo, and then we kind of came back up. And here's our 11 o'clock candle. So I could see that this is our 2. Yeah. I would just say this is a consolidation because
Okay.
we on a higher time frame, this is gonna like because it went down, right? And then it came
Uh-huh.
exactly back up to where it came from. Um, so it's kind of like a downward consolidation type of thing going on. Okay, so here's the end of our Tokyo. There's our London. So London, we swept this level of the consolidation, but we still respected this high during Tokyo.
Uh-huh.
So let's go ahead and mark that. I don't know if that's going to be our high of the day yet. Okay, we went back. And there we go. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like this is going to be our high of the day.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what I do that I find out on a video that I was watching? Because I was doing the same thing, like trying to figure out like what time is it that is coming up. If you pick the cursor over there and you click on the candle that it's like printed right now, when you click play, you can see it. You can actually see the time.
What do you mean?
Like click it underneath, but in the same line where there, no, like in the blank space, up, like in the blank chart, like there, like click there. Do you have the cursor?
First,
Hmm. Yeah. The one that you have, like the one of the. How can I explain that?
like a mouse?
Yeah, like the little, uh-huh. Wait, you already have it? Yeah, you see how your mouse has like the cross and the lines?
Yeah.
You can click on top, like where you have it right now. And once you do that, the time it's gonna tell you the time where that candle prints.
Wait, what? You mean down here at the bottom?
Whichever, as long as it is in the same line as the candle that is printing. That way you don't have to go back and forth and see like what time is it that is printing.
Oh, you mean at the bottom down here? This little
No,
tab that
no, no. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I can see it. Let me see what is it called. Because I do it on my iPad and I'm pretty sure you can do it here.
Oh, is it like an indicator or something?
No, no, it's one of the options that you see how you have your favorites at top.
Uh, favorites up here?
Uh-huh.
Right here?
You can, yeah. Hold on, because I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Hold on. Where's my chart? Okay. I'm in it right now. Why is it not coming up? Hold on. How do I get the charts? Like full chart here. So, um, no, it's not working. My tablet was working.
Oh, maybe it's different on the app or something.
Let me see. See, it's called the cross. That's what you have, right? So, oh. Okay. So let me see. Hold on.
This thing right here? Oh, no.
No, oh my God. I don't know why it's called cross. And it's the
This right
first
here?
one on the left. Yes. So
Yeah,
I have it as favorite. And then like when you click on it,
right here. Right here?
yeah, like when you click on it and you follow the candle, you
Mhm.
don't have to go one by one. It does it like it shows you the my God, I don't think oh no.
Oop.
The point is that I you don't have to like follow it to see the time at
Oh,
the
I see
bottom.
what you mean.
Like it does it by itself. You don't have to go one by one. Because that was driving me crazy.
I see what you mean. Maybe I just don't have a certain setting on lock price to bar ratio. No. Huh. I don't know. I don't know how to turn that on.
Oh wait. Oh, I got it. I got it. So click like left, right click, and then you have an option for lock vertical cursor line by time. Maybe go back and click on the white, like the blank space.
Here.
Uh-huh. There
Oh,
you go. Uh-huh. So you see, you don't have to,
oh,
yeah, you don't have to go one by one now. Like if you hit play,
yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. 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 Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Man, that was driving me crazy because I was like, I'm wasting so much time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, seriously.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, that was it. It took us so long to figure that out. It's
Perfect. Okay.
uh-huh.
So 4 a.m.
Uh-huh.
So for London, that remember how I put these kind of like trend lines here because we were kind of like
Uh-huh.
downward a little bit. Um, London, we grabbed that buy side consolidation.
Uh-huh.
So just to point that out. So, and we respected this high.
Uh-huh.
So we just barely did though. So it looks like this could possibly be our high of the day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I also want to point out that these, now that I'm looking at it, these highs are so close to each other
Mm-hmm.
that I just want to make a note that these could possibly be relative equal highs.
It can be taken out, like go back to
Yes.
then continue down.
Because remember, we see it, we
Yeah.
have this large area that hasn't been filled
Mm-hmm.
yet. And I'm also seeing that these were relatively equal lows that just got taken as well. So let's just like keep those in mind. I'm gonna delete this. Um, okay, so wait, where'd it go? What? It like turned off. No, there it is. Okay, maybe it's only when I'm on the screen.
Click it, maybe?
When I go on the screen, it's there. Wait, but it didn't go to
Mm,
this one.
wait.
Lock vertical.
Wait.
Oh,
You got it?
no.
Wait, let me do mine.
It's supposed to follow, right?
Yes. No, it's not doing it. You know what? I'll figure it out. Because on my iPad, I can definitely do it. There's no way the laptop is different.
Yeah, that's so weird. Okay. Yeah, let me know. Um,
Hmm.
okay, so now that we have kind of like we see these relative equal highs here, we see these relative equal lows here. I'm
Hmm.
thinking it's 5 a.m. now. So I'm thinking that I don't know, maybe this is like we didn't get a rejection here. So these are solid candle bodies. So if this gave me a wick, then I'd be like, oh, for sure, we're gonna go up, right? But it gave me
Hmm.
solid candle bodies. Um, so on a 4 hour time frame, I don't want to go up to the four because it's gonna give it away, but it could be a wick on the 4 hour later.
Hmm.
So let's see, 5 a.m. now. Let's look 5:30 to 7 a.m. Okay, here's our 6 a.m. candle, 7 a.m. candle. So pretty much what we should be looking for at this point, if this is the high of the day,
Hmm.
okay, then price broke structure to the downside. So then we should be looking for kind of just the same thing that we've been looking for, right? Is we want to see a continuation. If New York's going to be a continuation, then
Hmm.
we're looking for, you know, that liquidity and then a
Hmm.
retracement, which will be a buy side sweep. Okay. And then kind of like that, right?
Hmm.
So we'd be looking for that in here. And then if we don't get that, then and it wants to go higher, um, then we would just kind of let it do its thing. but it's 10 a.m. It's getting pretty late in the morning. There's a one. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, at this point, it's kind of just stalling out for the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say on this Friday, and then there's the market's closing. So this is Sunday of the next weekend. So I would say that the opportunity to trade would have been in here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we didn't get the wicks, right? Um, but if you wanted to be kind of ballsy, then you could
Mm-hmm.
have looked for, right, a market structure, a change of character to the upside.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we see these wicks. Price came back in to tap in at some point in the morning. So we could have said, all right, well, we just sold into these relative equal lows right here. And I know price is going to buy, and it's going to buy either just into this displacement here, this imbalance,
Mm-hmm.
right? To then continue down, or it's going to go up to these relative
Mm-hmm.
equal highs, or even this next displacement that we had in the previous day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
obviously, you always want to take it to the closest objective. So
Right.
there's definitely opportunity in here to go um to buy price into here, but remember, so I was making a bearish bias for the day. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm going to be looking for sell or buy side sweeps to for a sell, right? But we didn't really see that happen. We saw it happen
Mm-hmm.
right here a little bit, but I don't know if that was tradable on a lower time frame. So for you can trade price in the opposite direction of your daily bias, but
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a lot more of a risky trade. So especially on a Friday, it's kind of just like, okay, well, we already had 2 wins for the week. Like, do we really need to put ourselves at risk? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I would just recommend on a day like this to just leave it, you know. Um, so yeah, so that was a good week. 2 wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need is just two
Mm-hmm.
trades. Even if you win one of them, you know what I mean? You can still be in profit if you're risking your money correctly.
Right.
But yeah, so do you have any questions for me or anything?
No, no. Everything is clear.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just like it's literally rinse and repeat every day. You do the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you kind of look at your macro, your daily, stuff like that. And then once you establish your bias on that point, then you zoom in and you watch the sessions and then trade, and then you zoom back out, create your bias again, and then for the next day, and then you zoom back in, watch the sessions, create your bias for the New York trade, zoom back out. It's literally just rinse and repeat over and over and over
Mm-hmm.
again.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point for you, it'll become like muscle memory, and you'll just be able
Yeah.
to show up to the chart every day and just trade away. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so you said that you wanted to do start like a demo account.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, how do I do that with Trader Lock, or should I just like what? How do I do that?
Um, hmm, hmm. I would say, um, I almost because like you can like if I was to sign out, I don't know, bug out this. Um, so you can make a um practice account on TradingView.
Okay.
So it's called paper trading. And
Okay. Yeah, I heard about it, huh?
Yeah, so it would be like if you were on TradingView, you would go to like sign in with the broker, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's going to be one of the options. It's going to be the TradingView option, and it says paper trading. And so honestly, just start with that as your demo account.
Okay.
And then because it's just going to be a lot easier for you to like
Mhm.
just trade from TradingView.
Mhm.
Um, so I think I've shown you before, like, oh, interesting. I didn't know you could do fake buys and sells when you're
Oh, when you're
backtesting.
back testing? Wow.
What? I did not know you could do that. Wow, that's actually super cool. So this is
It
kind of like a
is.
wow. Okay, that's so cool. So this is kind of like what it's like when you trade on TradingView is you just like stop loss here, take profit here, right?
Mm.
And it just calculates everything for you. So it's really easy to do it on here. I really like trading on TradingView. Um, well, that's so cool. Okay. But yeah, I would just recommend opening up an account with a TradingView and just practice that way.
Okay. Cool. I'll do that. So no, no, now that you say it, I have a question though. Because I know that you were showing me the daily bias and everything. Sometimes I am very risky. Like sometimes I go against my daily bias just because my daily bias sometimes I'm not completely I want to say I'm not sure, but at the same time like I am.
Mhm,
Um, but like my eyes are being like I think I'm very comfortable with Judah's swing
mhm.
and all the trades that I've tried it are basically everything that you said, but like there was one session when you showed me, oh, um, normally Judah swings happens this time, and you just wait for a change of character. Then the change of character, you see a retracement back to that imbalance or um, that word that I never remember.
Displacement.
Displacement, yes. And I've been doing so good on that. So is that bad that
Oh, nice.
I've been trading? Because everything you said, it's like clicking. Because like it's like everything I've been doing. So it's that okay that I should that or should I just pull back a little bit? Because I know you said 2 wins for the week. It's great, but like I've been trading almost every every day on the back testing. I've been doing like one every single day and
Mhm,
sometimes two, but I stopped that because I was too excited. But yeah, but like one trade a day with the Judah swing, it has been good. Even if I went against my daily um bias.
mhm. Yeah, that's fine. So I would just say with Judas swings, like just be careful because they are riskier in a sense that like you just don't know how far it's gonna go. You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh. Yeah.
you just have to be more careful when you're managing it.
Mm-hmm.
So like you want to like really be mitigating that risk, like moving your stop loss up,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
because um it can reverse on you at any point. So like this one here that we saw, like this
Mm-hmm.
Judas swing, right? We had this buy side and the sell side, right? And it went back up. This one fully mitigated this displacement. But this
Mm-hmm.
one right here, right, when we had this sweep of this low and then this
Mm-hmm.
sweep of this high, price only came back in to this much of that displacement, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's just why you have to be careful. They're absolutely completely tradable. And you can trade them, but you just have to be a little bit more careful when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to managing them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so you want to just make sure you're like moving up your risk or just taking like the closest take profit, which it looks like that's what you've
Mm-hmm.
been doing. Um,
Yeah.
so but no, they're absolutely tradable. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because everything you said, it was on point. Like I could see, I'm seeing everything so clear.
Good. Good. Awesome. Sweet. Okay. Well, yeah, keep doing what you're doing and definitely get on those charts and try to do it live.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good for you. And then yeah, this is at this point you could pretty much just start like obviously if you have time to backtest, but like when you're practicing in your demo account, you're really going to be able to start coming to the charts in the morning when you're planning to do your trading and you can really like simulate what this is going to be like for your life.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah,
Thank you so much for everything, though.
yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're
And
welcome.
I was going to say, like when you said that you were going to teach everyone who wants to start from scratch, I was like, girl, create an academy and start charging people for that.
I feel like I don't know. I don't know where I'm at with that yet. I feel like when it comes to the basic kind of like knowledge of how to trade, the
Hmm.
information is everywhere for free. So I feel like when it
Hmm.
comes to like that, like just talking about structure, talking about,
Yeah.
times of day, London sessions, stuff like that, I feel like that I'll probably always keep for free.
Hmm.
But when it comes to like my specific strategy, like that
Right.
I myself, I think I would sometime in the future possibly charge for that.
Cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. Just hook them with the basics.
You gotta upgrade.
Yes.
That's so funny. Yeah, yeah, that'll be like in the future though. I don't know. I don't know. Like I would love to just keep everything free, but I know that like I want to keep the group free, obviously. A
Yeah.
lot of stuff, free resources. I want to make sure it's always free.
Hmm.
Um, because if they're not getting it from me, they're getting it from somebody else, and who knows what those
True. Yeah.
goals are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to keep it free, but at the same time, it's like, you got to pay yourself at some point too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I know God will let me know how to handle everything. So
That's true.
yeah. So, all right, girl. You're
Thanks.
welcome. Let me know if you have any more questions and
Yeah.
anything you need. I'll be here.
Okay. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.